流行乐天王麦可杰克森性骚扰男童案的审理期间，有一位亚裔女性的身影常被媒体捕捉。她是杰克森律师团中唯一的女律师，韩裔的Susan。今天的关晓芬高峰会由Susan的专访，关晓芬。
是张翰麦可杰克森案审理期间，除了麦可本人受瞩目之外，他的律师团也是焦点。不过，美国的媒体过去都聚焦在白人律师 Thomas Masero 身上。而今天我们将镜头转向杰克森律师团当中唯一的女律师 Susan。在 Susan 的眼中，杰克森是一个少见的好客户。
A very compassionate, kind, generous human being who has a lot of depth and substance. He is very philosophical. He has a lot of kindness in his heart. And that's, I think, one thing that people really don't know much about Michael.
We have seen on TV that after the trial you gave several hugs to the Michael Jackson family members. What was on your mind at that moment?
You know, I really didn't have a lot on my mind. I think it was very spontaneous. It was very natural. And that is because I formed a very strong relationship with the family, especially with Michael and the mother. We spent a great deal of time together, and it was very natural for me because I think it was something that we shared a lot in common, a lot of agony, a lot of grief, a lot of strong feelings were exchanged, and so it was very natural and spontaneous for us to really share the great victory.
Do you usually make friends with your clients, like you have a strong feeling with their strong tie with their families? Is this something that's unique?
You know, I don't know that it's unique. It is not usual. It really depends on the client. But I will have to say that Michael is perhaps one of the best clients I've had. You cannot ask for a better client than Michael Jackson.
In terms of?
He's generous, he's kind, he's grateful. He thanks you for all the work you do every day. He is perhaps one of the brightest people that I've met, one of the most compassionate clients. And so for me to have that kind of bond and develop trust and strong feelings, yes, it is not really usual. It is unusual.
Lots of the second-generation Asians have struggled their true identity in this country. And on the contrary, you are very proud of your Asian heritage, your background. So what makes you the way you are right now? And any frustration have you ever experienced in your, during your grow up?
I think that the reason why I have been able to develop a strong sense of identity as a Korean American really stems from the fact that I come from injustice. I come from segregation. I grew up in this country where there was tremendous amount of racism. It was everything in your face. It was, there were a lot of obstacles growing up, being a minority. I think that as a professional, as a lawyer, I probably ran into that far less because I fought for my rights. So it was easier for me to fight the battle as an adult and as a professional than as a child.
Many people think this is a male-dominated society, especially in your profession. There are a lot of you have to work with some of the old boys club, and how do you deal with them?
I never think of myself as an Asian female. Maybe that was the key for me to survive. And my mirror image many times is not somebody like you. My mirror image is a white male. And so there are times when I forget who I am. My mirror image is a white man, and I oftentimes think that I'm a white man. Wow. In the courtroom. I do not think about my race. I do not think about my gender when I'm in the courtroom. When I'm fighting the battle, I only think about winning and getting the right result for my clients. That's all I think about. I do know who I am, but I don't think about that in the courtroom.
Okay, great. You have a very demanding job, especially a lot of pressure. So how do you cope with pressure? And I think your team member or your team cannot win all the cases all the time. So what have you done to walk you through all the failures?
Well, first of all, in terms of dealing with the pressure, I think that I have a very supportive husband that helps tremendously. I have a loving son that helps tremendously. I try to keep myself sane by exercising regularly, reading a lot of good books. I love to read. So that kind of keeps me going and allows me to remain sane. In terms of overcoming failures, I don't think I had a lot as a lawyer, but there were certainly, I think that maybe results that I may not have been happy with by way of settlement, let's say, in terms of the actual result you get. To cope with that, I think as a lawyer, you have to accept defeat and you have to learn from your failures. I don't think I had a lot, but I am very self-critical. I'm very hard on myself. So if I were to assess what I've done and some of the things that I could have done better, I learned from those mistakes.
Susan Yu目前人在夏威夷和先生以及儿子度假。毕竟杰克森案从审前听证开始已经有5个半月，他是待在 Santa Maria 不能够回家，是该好好休息的时候了。张翰。
关晓芬，我想你在这个新闻工作生涯常常有机会访问很多律师，可以谈谈这一次近距离访问 Susan， 她的给人家的感觉和其他律师有什么不一样的地方？
她真的是很不一样哎！看到 Susan Yu， 我就想到中国人所说的这个刚柔并济啊。Susan 并没有一般律师那种咄咄逼人的气势，她的声音非常的温柔，但是她的语气十分的坚定，而且她很谦虚。她的专业能力不谈的话，其实她的语言能力也非常的好。她除了会讲流利的韩文之外，还会说俄文和日文，而她的姓氏 Yu， 让很多人以为她是华裔。而不过她的能力呢，并不因为她不是华裔而是韩裔而有任何的差别。我们大家应该给她鼓掌。
好，我们谢谢关晓芬。稍后的中国新闻，我们要来看新党的大陆访问团抵达广州访问的情形。